Future. Oh, talent. Nas. The best. Jay-Z.
Future gracious ability Nas, the best Jay-Z great business, say speculatively, it was 50 penny number one. Then who might it be Jay after that? Presumably, not their apprehensive their children, going to need to be 50 in the event that they recognize the material. So they don't give you the prizes. I got the checks. I didn't get the prizes. Jay got every one of the prizes, man. That is 'cause he marked that agreement. What contract won no on the off chance that you don't sign, you don't give him a prize? She ain't coming 50 penny. Has gotten down on Jay-Z and Diddy for forfeiting individuals to move their vocations up. And a portion of the charges he made are really difficult, including Jay-Z and Diddy being liable for. Or if nothing else contributing to the passings of various rappers, does 50 penny truly have data on Jay-Z and Diddy's dim parts? Are Jay-Z and Diddy truly forfeiting different rappers just to get on top? We should dive in the opposition in the rap game is much of the time vicious, particularly. Thinking back to the 90s when everybody was a hoodlum, everybody needed to pop off. And nobody needed to be discovered loosen. There were yetter rappers who might do anything cross anybody to make it on top, as per 50 penny, Jay-Z and P. Diddy. Are two rappers who fall into that class of rappers for whom no expense is too perfect to even think about paying as long as it pushes their profession forward, regardless of whether that implies disposing of different rappers. Now you all realize that Jay-Z and Diddy have consistently confronted Illuminati charges and been associated with offing rappers as penances to the Illuminati. Those reports are arriving at best case scenario. So how about we center around 50 pennies, claims that Jay-Z and Diddy have ripped various specialists off through their record names. One rapper that quickly strikes a chord while discussing Jay-Z's obscure dealings is the unbelievable rapper Coolio, who kicked the bucket keep going year on a Wednesday evening. In September last year, Coolio was at a companion's home in La when he went to the restroom and never returned outside. When the companion kept an eye on him, he found Coolio dropped on the floor. Paramedics would later affirm that Coolio passed on the spot for quite a long time. The subtleties behind Keo's demise stayed obscure. However, many individuals thought he kicked the bucket from a heart failure. Large numbers of Keo's nearby partners and family realized that he'd been engaging some fundamental medical problems for a really long time, yet that's what others accepted, and Diddy were some way or another associated with Keo's passing, a result of certain meetings Coolio did, without further ado, before he passed on, that recommended that he could have been apprehensive for his life. Obviously, Coolio had soil on certain individuals in the business, and he needed to uncover them for what their identity was, so they needed to act and quiet him before he could emerge with any cursing. Data specialists later affirmed that Coolio had undiscovered heart conditions that ultimately prompted his passing, yet this never really kept individuals from accelerating the possibility that Jay and Diddy were essential for the positions in the Illuminati that arranged a hit on Coolio. Yet might there be any reality to the charges? I mean, Keo's case is only one in the series of tricks attached to Jay and Diddy over their long-term vocations. For instance, certain individuals, except Diddy, was answerable for famous enormous passing with strong proof to back it up. Infamous Large, also known as Big Deal Smalls, was a notorious rapper who passed on way too early at the young age of 24. In spite of the fact that his demise occurred quite a long time back, it stays a secret. Big Deal's demise truly hit the roads hard, and sooner or later individuals just needed to continue on, so everybody just stayed with the story that Big Deal was taken care of in a drive-by shooting. Yet was he back in February? Diddy's previous guardian, Eugene Jane Bargan, otherwise called Uncle Ron, guaranteed he had intel on who truly killed Big Deal, and why Uncle Ron guaranteed that he and Diddy were behind enormous Big's vehicle the night Big Deal was killed. And in opposition to what everybody thinks it was anything but a hit-and-run assault, How about we recollect this that evening we was at Andrew Nation's home? And I let you know that this feline was coming to kill us, or attempt to get at us that evening I let you know I had inno. Yet you would have rather not heard it allowed me to give you something canine you would have passed on very much like your dad did that evening in the event that I wasn't in that frame of mind. With you comprehend your dad passed on in light of the fact that he planned to narc and betray his group. And that is everything that New York Freddy planned to say to you. He planned to educate you concerning your dad. K9, you comprehend he planned to let you know that your dad took a tap admission and a composed explanation that they had a cop on they finance, and they gave him $10,000 for that data. And the buddy that killed your dad was crying the heart as at the burial service, conveying a palace. Every son follows after his dear old dad, fundamentally Uncle Ron, was saying that the slug that took Biggie out was intended for Diddy, and it was Diddy's shortcoming that Biggie wound up dead. That evening they were all at a gallery party, when Uncle Ron said he found an unidentified man attempting to get to Diddy's vehicle. In the wake of advising the man to ease off, he watched him enter one more vehicle left on a similar corner where Big Deal was in the end shot. Uncle Ron said he advised Diddy then that somebody was on a mission to get them at that party, yet Diddy failed to address it, Diddy declining to make a move then. At that point, checks out when you discovered that he had before offered Uncle Ron $30,000 to take out Biggie, yet Uncle Ron wouldn't gather the cash he guaranteed, that Diddy felt Big Deal was a danger to his own profession. So he needed to find one more method for taking him out in that video. Uncle Ron just had a ton to forget about in light of the fact that separated from essentially pining Big Deal's passing on Diddy. He additionally guaranteed that Diddy had a few terrible propensities, dealt with everybody around him like poo, and was not a hero to be near. And after all that Diddy continues benefiting off Big Deal's inheritance, a long time after his sad demise as expected, 50 penny needed to advise Diddy to quit benefiting off Big Deal's memory and allowed him to find happiness in the hereafter. Diddy has certainly done a ton to respect Biggie, from testing his music to delivering a famous enormous biopic, and in any event, referring to Biggie in his own tune. Yet it seems like eventually Diddy recently quit doing it for Big Deal, and on second thought began doing it to create a gain for himself after a tune named Phantom of Christopher Wallace by J Electronica was delivered. 50 had sufficient. He called Diddy out, saying, "This is simply getting discourteous. This tune doesn't actually help me to remember Big Deal in any capacity aside from having the Puffy Foundation moving and Promotion Lib's introduction that nearly obliterated decent melody. It appears to be a ton." Yet Puma Wright has likewise made some upsetting claims against Diddy that make Uncle Ron's charges appear to be conceivable in this video. She asserted that Diddy was attached to involving his power as the proprietor of Terrible Kid Amusement to bug his staff and specialists under him into doing a few frightful things just to satisfy his self-image, like things that would make you at absolutely no point ever need to work with Diddy in the future. She likewise guaranteed that everyone individuals who began in the game with Jay-Z have some way or another kicked the bucket, only for Jay to get to where he is today. One of the models she referred to was Large L, who even put Jay-Z on. In any case, we as a whole expertise. Tupac's passing stirred things up around town, and